Into NaVi versus Vega Squadron. Vega, perhaps to your surprise, with the 1-0 lead in this one. Loser does go home. Winner going to move on to the grand finals, where FNG and Team Spirit await. Vega go for their Jakiro in game 1. Their Nature's Prophet will be banned out, and Blizzy has done very well on the hero in the for the most part in the tournament. Wasn't honestly all that impressive last game on his Nature's Prophet, but he did enough, I suppose, and definitely did garner the attention of NaVi quite a bit. General was kind of playing reactive to him, and whereas he did get some kills, Slayer and the rest of the crew were able to get a lot done on the other side of the map, particularly keeping that Terrorblade farmed, getting those towers. And NaVi did really well, into the early mid game, but it felt like that one fight top lane where they really kind of overcommitted with Lil to get into the fight. Undershock had his Blink Dagger at that point. He hit a nice 2 or 3 man Ice Path, and the Terrorblade got a triple kill. And at that point, it really seemed like game was very difficult for them. Terrorblade pick definitely not one that they could really manage in the last game for NaVi, but they will ban out the Prophet in this one, so that is their slight adjustment. They leave the Tiny in the pool as they did have first pick, and they will pick up the Tiny for themselves. Sioma, the Slayer, opting to ban out, the Bounty Hunter instead of the Tiny. So Bane will be the direct response to the Lifestealer that Slayer did draft here. And certainly is a good one. Lifestealer, considered one of the decent heroes against Tiny. I don't know that anyone really is great against Tiny. But Tiny low base armor, Lifestealer big physical single target damage, and magic immunity. So overall, Lifestealer a pretty decent matchup against Tiny, but against the Bane not so great, with the grip piercing that rage. And with Nightmare kind of really screwing over his initiation as far as, going on a target, open woundsing them, and them getting Nightmare defensively. So the Viper ban does come out another decent way at dealing with the Lifestealer. And SF ban from Slayer. DK removed by Dendy. And quite a bit of time being chewed into. Crystallized DC, but Dendy is the one with the crown on, so they are kind of mulling this over. And this is, again, an elimination game potentially for NaVi. If they end up failing in this one, they will be out of GESC Thailand and therefore GESC Indonesia. All right, Vega going to go back for the Jakiro here. We'll see if they end up putting it in a core role or not, but this has certainly been kind of Sioma's go-to all tournament long. Ice Path, nice to have up against the Bane. Kind of a long, similar to a Fisher, a long way to cancel the grip. A Baden ban from Dendy. Another way to cancel the grip. You can just purge it off. Hard to burst as well with the tiny without something like a silver edge. So, a pretty fair ban from Dendy. Jakiro fairly tanky as well, especially in a core role. So neither of these Lifestealer Jakiros are too susceptible to just a tiny combo. Which does make the hero a little less potent. You can't solo pick heroes off. Witch Doctor, though, can definitely be solo picked all game long. And NaVi with a bit of a NaVi throwback with the Weaver here. And Weaver certainly very nice up against the Lifestealer. Very easy to kite the open wounds. Very easy to kite the hero in general. So Vega Squadron going to be looking for some reliable catch for this Weaver. And whether it be something like a Doom or a Disruptor, they're going to need something to lock him down. And Ice Path and Cask are nowhere near reliable in that endeavor. Alright, Night Stalker to some extent fits the bill. You do have the Crippling Fear. You do have a couple of single target abilities, which in general, we see this Weaver building into Lincoln, so provide those to kind of pop that. Although wouldn't be too surprised to just see Weaver go BKB in this. That's a very odd item on Weaver in general. Lincolns provide so much as far as regen, mostly regen, but stats as well for the Weaver. That it's often just a good pickup. Really hard to pass up the BKB in this one. Ice Path, Yule's Ice Path is pretty bad. The BKB. Death Prophet's going to be the pickup for NaVi. So their tri-core showing at this point, likely be the safe lane Weaver, Death Prophet mid, and Tiny in the off lane. I feel like Jakiro should have a pretty decent matchup versus the DP, though. Especially with a Night Stalker potentially roaming in. So perhaps an offlaner being considered here. Pangolier could certainly be a decision that they'd want to make. Although, again, it seems like they'd be a little bit limited in eliminating this Weaver. But the Lycan ban from Vega. I'm actually worried about the Lil 4-position Weaver, which we did see VP run actually not too long ago. They ban out the Lycan. Feeling he's a little too difficult to deal with. Very tanky. Very kind of self-sufficient laner with the Feral Impulse. Broodmother ban from NaVi. As yeah, getting brooded in this scenario would be a terrible feeling. Now they could again always put the Jakiro in the off lane with the Night Stalker and go for a mid here. Okay, Ursa from Vega. Wow. So it is going to be a support Weaver. Huh. Some part of me feels like they expected a Huskar pick from Vega, and that's why they went for this Ursa. But I don't love Ursa into Jakiro. Pretty kiteable. A lot of options here for NaVi. I feel like PL might stand out. Pretty easy for him to evade the Ursa and the Tiny. Hey, it's going to be the Chen, so... Wow. Is this a core Night Stalker? What is this? Wow, Slayer has just been impressive, or at least unorthodox, in his drafts. And this is going to be an ultra early game oriented lineup, and it does look like it is going to be Blizzy on the 3-position Night Stalker, and they will put the Jakiro mid, and maybe roam the Chen in instead of the Night Stalker. General picks up the Weaver and Crystallize on the Ursa. So actually, looks like it's going to be an off-lane Weaver with the support Tiny, as opposed to the reverse. For now, at least. See what happens when they load out. But NaVi on the ropes here, guys. Down 1 game in this best of 3. Vega up 1 with this 5th pick, Chen, promoting the Night Stalker to a core. We'll see how they fare. Game 2, Vega up 1-0. Palantimos looks like he might be loaded out for mid, and we have seen them flex him to mid, especially with this Lifestealer. Perhaps the anticipation is that... I don't know what the anticipation is. Dendi loaded out for mid on the other side. Guess you just purge off the Siphon, and you're doing pretty well for yourself. General gets himself down a ward. Good old off-lane Weaver, 2018. Solo safe lane Jakiro up against the Weaver. So General certainly will farm in this game. That's with the level 1 Blightstone. And with the big tree, Blizzy gonna take a couple of smacks. Slayer will grab the bounty rune for his side. It's NaVi to start with 3 bounty runes though. And we'll see how the block goes. Really solid job by both mid laners. Ends up dead center, more or less. Zayat's top lane needs to wait out for the creeps to spawn. Lil gonna beat into him. Crystallize has the Earth Shock here, but no Fury Swipe, so not sure how much of a threat he really is. Cass gonna bounce nicely between the 2 heroes, and first blood is going to be secured by Zayat, who does also make it away. We'll have a tango shared with him, and we'll be able to get down the sentry. Unfortunately, that's not going to refund him the gold he spent, but he does do it right before the 1 minute mark. Won't get the most valuable creep here early on. Lil trying to chase down Zayat. Well, mid lane, LeBron is here with the Enfeeble. Oh, goodness. Goodness gracious. They do end up getting the Chen on Lil, as he dings level 2. I was a little more worried about the mid lane at the time. And with the Enfeeble, you can see that it's been a little difficult in the early going for Palantimos as far as lasting. 7-3 on the Prophet to the 4-0 on the Lifestealer. Yeah, the bottom lane is doing 4-1 on the Weaver. And again, Undershock really last hitting very well on this Jakiro. Already 8-4.
Heads up. My thrift rewarded.
Looks like they may have kind of dissolved this aggressive lane with the Witchstalker already being bottom. Slayer being body blocked up here by the Bane. With the DD, he's going to take a spill here. Tries to go for the Ancient Deny and is a little bit too late. Zayat's nearby. Gonna look to go in on Crystallize. Penitence is there. Void as well. They get the Thunderclap off, but Earthshock will keep him safe, however. He does have a Salve, and Lil nearby with the Avalanche. Mid lane, Slayer's rotated through to help out Palantimos in his early going. General looking for Undershock, who's going to be forced to TP to base here, and does make it away. Swarm Bug unable to kill him off. Zayat's not with the most fortune here early on as far as creeps go. And now an Alpha Wolf and Hadouken creep, the Satyr. So really, I mean, Wildwing, Hellbear, and Sad here is pretty unlucky early on. No Troll, no Mud Golem. Nice casket and bounce through. The Maledict is there, but the Avalanche will keep the Vega Squadron at bay. And Palantimos, you know, admirable to have the 10 CS he does, but LeBron, you know, knowing that his Ursa Tiny are a pretty tanky lane up top, and that, you know, Night Stalker in general, not the most threatening hero, is pretty much just sat mid all game. And made the Lifestealer's life hell. Meanwhile, top lane, Crystallize in trouble and brought down. They do get him with 3 heroes. So that is where we do see kind of the advantage of the numbers in the top lane where LeBron was mid. Avatos gonna fly out onto Zayats, and Penitence will be there. He will end up falling, but the Hadouken is there, as is the cast. They get the return kill onto LeBron, and it is nighttime. There were 5 stick charges for Blizzy, but Tiny pretty tanky, 920 HP, and a wave of creeps in the lane is going to drag Blizzy back. Mid lane, Dendi level 5, Palantimos level 4, despite the presence of LeBron. So, you know, this lane really has gone skew. Over in the off lane, things looking pretty even. 18-8 to the 16-8. Undershock to General, so overall a very even 1v1 there. Fast gonna fly through. Only bounces once. Nightmare is there, but they also have the Penitence and the Thunderclap, and Dendi gonna get wrapped on. They even bring in Blizzy's Night Stalker for this one, and he won't even suffer much from this, as you know, he does have 2 levels in the Hunter and the Knight, so can kind of scurry back to top lane pretty quickly. Meanwhile, General bottom lane is gonna have the Dual Breath expire shortly and has the bottle, so should be just fine, whereas Undershock more than likely dead now. Oh, with the sentry, one right click from Undershock almost gets the kill, but bottling up his General and finding the kill on the Jakiro. 4-4, very even early on here. CS slightly in the Dyer's advantage, mostly because of this Enfeeble. Top lane, Crystallize already jungling on the Ursa. And Cask is perfect now with the only creep nearby. It's going to bounce nicely. He's going to try and get the Shrine off. Gets the stick and the Shrine, but Maledict should kill him here. One more tick. Salve is there, and it doesn't. Hadouken going to miss. Oh, it'll get, and it'll be enough. What a spell that Maledict is.
A golden thread.
LeBron's TP in is too little too late.
Illusion.
Valentimo's 21 CS on the Lifestealer, looking to eclipse that level 6 mark shortly, so hasn't done terribly. And now again, they'll bring Lil bottom to go on to Undershock with General. Void is there onto Lil, and he will just completely ignore the Weaver. Does Blizzy. Has a Void in 2 seconds, and tries to pursue forward, flying over the tree. And General will actually cop a lot of harass here. Blizzy hanging around, baiting the wand charges. And is going to be able to salve up. Dendi, though, from the west side, going to come through with the Spirit Siphon. Blizzy trying to make it away. It is nighttime, and he's pretty quick. And he makes the right call to go north. Meanwhile, Crystallize again going to fall top lane as Zayats chases him under the tower. And they'll get the tower on top of this. Blizzy rotating in on the mid. And Open Wounds is going to be there. And Blizzy has been very effective. Meanwhile, General looks like he did push them off the lane top. So TP out from Zayats. But Vega starting off quick here with this core Night Stalker. And Night to expire soon, but he's looking for one more wrap. Gonna find Dendi here. Not an easy kill, so we'll think better of it. Meanwhile, mid lane, Valentimo's gonna infest a creep. And hope it doesn't die. It's actually the one right in front. And he needs to get out of dodge here. We'll purge off the Earthshock, and Penance will come through from Zayat, so he'll be fine to survive. LeBron, of course, does not have the grip available here at this 8-minute mark. Blizzy back to farming is level 7 on the Night Stalker already here. So holding a skill point. In case he ends up needing that silence. Hunter in the Night doesn't do him much good at this point anyways. And Feeble, what a spell. Not quite like Maledict, but... Siphon comes up bottom lane, Slayer in trouble. And Cryptstorm will finish him off now. Dendi gonna pop the Exorcism as well. Undershock is gonna drop. He'll get the dual breath off though, and Zayat's rotating in for a big solo kill. 566 gold, and I'm sure a good amount of XP as well. As he will take out the Death Prophet. So 371 XP apiece for the Jakiro, 490 experience for the Chen. As he picks up the solo kill. Class gonna fly out mid. Maledict is there as well. TP in from the Jakiro, but it'll be a little bit too late. As Crystallize is able to back off this time around. Meanwhile, top lane, Blizzy forced to pop the darkness here. Has 17 charges. General will be there. And the turn from the NS. Lil nearby though, tosses forward the Weaver. Silence will be there under the tower. Void is there in a second. Oh, one more tower. Gets the kill for the Night Stalker. And Lil will be just a fraction of a second late. Meanwhile, Dendi goes down in the bottom lane. Nicely played by the NS, who is deceptively tanky here at level 8. And even just that brief tick of the urn, perhaps allowing him to net the Weaver kill.
My thrift rewarded.
Still, this tower standing though, top lane. And has been for a while. Mid lane tower has been eliminated. However, and looks like Undershock got to work there with level 3 Liquid Fire. Dendi showing mid, and rotations in from the Witch Doctor, but it's going to be a hard kill regardless. Undershock sitting on the high ground, and it looks like the Dire did spot this at some point. General up to the high ground, and yeah, this is going to be a dead Jakiro. He will try and get the slows off, but it's not going to matter. Slayer going to jump through with the cask and the maledict, and he may just as well die.
The bones will tell.
Bot lane though, Valentimos and Zayat's Chen working on the tower. Blizzy similarly so, working on the tower top lane. He'll get the last hit there. Nice bit of gold for him. Send back onto the lifestealer will keep him safe, and Chen will simply TP out. So they get a tower, and they'll put this one in deny range, and we'll get a little bit of the gold for that. Quick Radiance being worked on here by Palantimos up against the Ursa makes some sense. And he actually goes for the attack speed. So in general, we see the health with the Radiance build. So that's a bit of a deviation from the norm, I'd say. Meanwhile, Night Stalker trying with the Siege Creep to work on the top lane tower. Exorcism deployed bottom. And Lil looking to set up top. So pretty free trade for NaVi here. But they do use the Exorcism, so now we will see Vega group up and likely take this tier 2. They have good vision in the area. It is nighttime now, and the Exorcism was spotted. Dendi will continue forward as Slayer in the mid lane under the cover of invisibility is going to find a crystallized Ursa. Cask, Maledict is there as well. Death Ward not even needed as they'll use the Crippling Fear. Nicely played, so that he's unable to enrage. And Undershock takes out the tower in the meantime, along with the Chen creeps. Undershock though, he's going to get gripped up and probably tossed back into the base here. And he will just end up dying. Very odd for him, knowing, you know, his teammates just showed mid lane for him to hang around there top for what, one liquid fire on the tower potentially. So misstep, you know, no doubt from Undershock there. And I haven't looked at net worth yet. Good stuff. Palantimos, surprisingly enough, is at the top of the net worth chart despite his start. 3-0-1 on this lifestealer. Crystallized super underfarmed on the Ursa. And does have 5 deaths. So this last pick Chen certainly has been doing work against the Ursa. Net gonna find Lil. He's gonna be silenced, but not before he gets the avalanche off. However, the Hadouken is there from Zayats, and they'll continue to give chase as Blizzy finds another void onto LeBron, and this will be an easy second kill. Hadouken is there as well, and the negative earn tick. The Alpha Wolf kind of blocking out the NS, but he'll make his way around. Does Blizzy, and no trades in sight for NaVi. Setting up on mid, Blizzy looking to find General. Flies over, gets the Crippling Fear. Silence is there. And heads up TP by the Weaver. And unable to make it in time is Slayer. Sentry down in the mid will allow the creeps to deward. Dendi does have his Yules, but we've yet to really see his team fight potential here. Level 11 on the Death Prophet, aside the Nyx and Night Stalker. And looking at an early Ags here is Zayats.
I'll take that.
Looking for the TPO. Lil nearby will get the cancel. And for that reason, Zayats finds the kill. Meanwhile, mid lane, though, in trouble again is Crystallize. And toss away onto the Night Stalker. Liquid Fire is going to be there. Enrage from Crystallize, but he's likely to fall. He gets the Jakiro beforehand, though. Nightmare is out onto the Night Stalker. Ava toss available now for Lil. Gets the Ava off. Toss is there as well. And with the silence, they'll get 2 big kills. And in fact, the Witch Doctor is well going to die to General under the tower. So 4 kills for NaVi in that fight. And they'll take net 2,000 net worth, chunking into the lead here of Vega. And net 2250 experience-wise. Palantimo's working on his Radiance, though, and it looks like he's got it. He does. So...
What have we here?
with Darkness level 2, still look for a fight here, more than likely from Vega, as the Radiance is delivered. Solar Crest queued up for now, for Palantimos. Shrine ping top, Weaver showing in lane here briefly. Still has a set of drums, no other real initiation tool. Crystallized HOD on top of the face boot. Still pretty damn poor on this Ursa. And Scan will, from the Radiant, will find a couple of Navi heroes. Undershock, though, could still be in trouble here. Jump forward. Ava gonna find two. Toss back across the river. Self-fuels up onto Undershock. They can't really get here in time, though. And it'll be two free kills, despite the scan from Vega. It'll be a pair of kills for NaVi. Into the Roche Pit they'll go with the Ursa. Not sure. Darkness is going to be popped here. Net onto the Tiny. Can they get in the pit in time? Flying over top is the Night Stalker, but that Age is picked up by the Ursa. Palantimo still rotating in with his Radiance. And going to look to reset here. General chasing forward. Meanwhile, Death Ward on the south side with a nice cast from Slayer. Macro Power over the top. LeBron in trouble. Is going to self-fuels. Nice hand to God to keep Slayer alive. But the Treed still comes through from Lil. Blizzy now looking to give chase. Gets the Void off onto Dendi. Crippling Fear is there as well. The Avalanche trying to help disengage. Nice toss back from Lil to keep Dendi alive. And Palantimos kind of just gets separated out from his team. So they do get the Aegis, I believe. Yeah, they got the Aegis off the Ursa there, and it's a 1-for-1 other than that. With the Radiance, though, Palantimos feeling pretty confident. Liquid Fire there as well is going to make this tower push real simple. So, nice to get the Aegis for NaVi as far as denying it from Vega, but doesn't provide them with much value. General hanging around top. Slayer nearby. Ice Path will find him. Maledict's is going to be there as well as the Macro Pyre. And he needs a time lapse. Will get it off. Now jump forward from Lil. Looking for the Avatos combo. With Crystallize, they do get a kill. Still, though, Palantimos rotating in. Gets tossed away to the creeps. Lil looking for the TP out. Slayer does not have the cask. And some very good defensive and offensive tosses thus far from Lil in this one.
Look at it go.
Darkness going to be popped here. And this should bleed into the second night, or this next night phase. Looks like it'll be a halberd for the Night Stalker. It makes sense into both the Weaver and the Ursa. Weaver has bypassed the Lincoln's build thus far. We mentioned it not being the greatest this game. He's gone for Solar Crest first. And there is an Ags up on the Chen. He's going to use the Ancient Black Drake to push the bottom wave out. Ursa pretty good at dealing with these Ancients, but making a rotation through Infested up, Hasted up is Blizzy. It is actual organic nighttime at this point. And he'll fly over the tree line, find the Void onto the Bane, and it'll be just a Bane kill for now, but perhaps they can transition this into a push with their Jakiro. See what Ancient is nearby. There's going to be a Prowler as well as the Black Drake.
My thrift rewarded.
Crystallize working on mid lane. And does end up getting it down. There's a Dire Ward here as well, so not going to be easy to kill off. The Night Stalker going to rotate towards the top lane where perhaps they want to mount a defense. They should have a glyph now that mid lane was taken out. And Blizzy looking to fly and find a kill, but Crystallize does make it back and somehow has recovered in this one. Undershock looking for his, once again, Blink Dagger on the Jakiro, and he will find it here.
Penance. What have we here?
General has pretty much the makings of a Deso here, just 100 gold away, or 200. LeBron in trouble. Gonna get flown on and brought down, and instantly they will de-ward as well.
No prisoners.
They will lose their offlane tier 1 for it. Ice Path, though, is gonna find Lil, and it'll be an easy kill onto the Tiny, who attempts a neutral deny but won't be successful. And Zayat's gonna pick himself up an Ancient Black Drake. I feel like the Golem might have been better for the push, but jump for it. Ice Path. General does go for the BKB and will pop it here, looking to take out Undershock. One more right click needed. They'll send him back, however. They still lose one. That's going to be the Witch Doctor. Blizzy up in the front lines trying to take out the Ursa. He's silenced and is going to be brought down. Flies over the trees and away from the Siphon, but the grip is there onto Palantimos, who also gets sent back. So it'll be a 2-for-1 in that mid lane if you consider the Tiny kill early on. And a couple of nice sendbacks by Zayats. Blizzy may be in trouble here, though. General looking to chase down the Courier. And we'll see a couple of heroes and therefore run for the hills. Now Palantimos, though, jumping forward. They may get 2 for this. Ice Pass catches Lil, and a couple more right clicks will finish him off. LeBron in trouble now as well. General comes through looking for the Night Stalker kill. Can't get it. LeBron burning down, but makes it away down to the south. And it is nighttime. 6 seconds until Blizzy is able to fly. Radiance Burn will kill LeBron. And General trying to cut the creep wave. Could be in trouble here. Slayer going to look to find him. Sentry is down. Ice Path is there. General forced to BKB for the second time here. And will make it away. And very lucky to have that BKB back up to make it out. And that is exactly why, one of the reasons why I talked about BKB over Linken's in this game, is that Ice Path is just crap against BKB.
Invisibility.
Now he doesn't have one, though. Undershock, blink forward. Maledict is there. Cask is going to be our crippling fear as well. And this is going to be a dead Weaver any way you slice it.
Good one.
And that is 60 seconds on the sideline. Creeps in the top lane, helping to deal with the push in. So the split push, not a major concern at this point, as backdoor protection is going to be there for this tier 2. And jump forward mid lane. Ice Path is going to be there. The Bane is likely to fall here. LeBron goes for the defensive Nightmare. 2 heroes on the sidelines. 30 seconds, neither of which have buyback. NaVi staring down the barrel of losing a Rax here, already down a game. And Vega desperately need this Rax at this point in the game. They have 2 cores in the Jakiro and the Night Stalker that don't scale all that well. And so this melee Rax is absolutely huge for them to be able to get. In the meantime, Crystallize working on a tier 2, but NaVi not very concerned with that. And they will be happy to take a melee Rax and back out of this mid lane. Now TPing top lane. Crystallize. Into the tree line he goes. And we'll be able to TP out. But did get a significant amount of damage done on this tier 2. In any case, it is a melee Rax here. 25 minutes in for this Yakiro lineup for Vega. And NaVi, in general, not very good at dealing with Megas. Or Super Creeps, for that matter. We'll see if there's a Maelstrom build on General at some point, but no one else very good at dealing with Super Creeps. Tiny, maybe when he gets an AC or something like that up, is decent, but still not great.
Gold and
Vega
sweet.
continuing to look to fight as they assemble as a unit once again. Where's the smoke, though? General doing some scouting. Hanging around mid. Undershock does have the blink initiate and can at least force out the BKB if he does get a glimpse of General. But General back into the fog. Vega very huddled up at this moment. And next Roche is to spawn in 1 second. There he is. Vega will ping that out immediately with the illusion. And Medallion and Solar Crest, I believe, on this Roche. Yes, so this should go down very quickly. Open wounds will be there just to keep everyone right and healthy. And the cask will fly out, killing off the Wild Wing before he can get in the pit. Ice Path will connect onto Dendi, and Vega will think better of continuing this attempt. Don't want to squander their lead. Fighting around the pit with Exorcism is not the easiest proposition. Dire Side do see the Night Stalker in the north, however. And luckily for Blizzy, he wraps around to the east. Grip is going to start off. They're going to look to go in. And Hand of God will be there. Slayer going to be sent back to base. He's out of the fight, but now the Infest coming through onto LeBron. And Palantimos, he's kind of out in a nook here. And could be in a little bit of trouble. As Crystallize bounces forward, looking for him. Will not miss. Kills off the Lifestealer. Zayat looking for the TP out. Will get it, it seems, with the cask there. Macropyre going to force General's BKB out. And Deathward unable to kill him off. And now Undershock looking for the Ice Path. Will find it, but he's likely to lose his life here. Aegis picked up by Crystallize. And this is why we saw the hesitance around the pit from Vega. They got a little bit too split up. Undershock in a shrine, but I don't think General has the kill power. Oh, he does. Excuse me. With the Solar Crest. And the Swarm armor reduction. Really didn't feel like he had much damage. Aquila, Solar Crest, BKB. But, hey. Gets the job done. And this is a major detriment too. In the meantime, this range Rax does go down, but really didn't matter all that much.
What have we here?
Bot lane, Night Stalker kind of stalking the Ursa, but didn't really have any help nearby.
My thrift
And,
rewarded.
you know, since picking up this Halberd, Blizzy has not scaled in any way. And Navi have done a good job kind of avoiding these fights. Acropyre going to deal with the creep wave mid. Dendi and Crystallize showing momentarily in lanes. Valentimos will deal with bottom with illusions and try and make his way towards top. Minute until daytime. Crystallize has a Basher and a BKB on the Ursa now. 9-second BKB. This game just gets more and more difficult as it wears on for Vega. NaVi take out the tier 2. Top lane though, there is potential for a poke here with the liquid fire. And TP's back. Ice Path will cancel one. That is going to be the Ursa's TP. He does have Aegis, but they can kill him twice as they're TPing into the shrine. Dendi though, he's going to look to flank them on the shrine. Slayer in trouble. General there as well. And Slayer is going to make it back for now, but the spirits may finish him off. Hand of God is going to be there, and on the south side, Crystallized BK beat up, still has the Aegis. LeBron going to be dealt with by Palantimos, but he can't really fight any longer, and he may just end up dying. Needs to infest, but doesn't have it. Gets the stick, charges off. Crystallized still alive with Aegis. It ends up being the Jakiro and Witch Doctor just for the Bane. And split push will be attempted here by the Chen, but won't get all that much done.
Thank you, my beauties.
I don't really know about the Ags build here for the Chen. That first item Ags. I felt like there's so much more he could have provided to the team with something like an AC, or... And that's not something you build up normally, but... right away anyways. But Vlad's, Greaves... And you're against an Ursa and a Weaver... and a Tiny. Your Ancients, I feel, are just not, in general, going to survive very long. But, in any case. Aeon Disc completed by Dendi. He's going to be very, very difficult to kill. General looking for the MKB is just a couple of gold away. Okay, Macro Pyre. Didn't really connect on anything. Yeah, these Ancients just don't survive for very long against all this physical damage. Nullifier picked up on Blizzy. This could be a bit of a fight changer. Gonna have his level 20 talent soon as well.
I'll take that.
Take the MS, right? I mean, I guess unless you're going for the attack speed. Yeah, I mean, he is a core, but...
A golden thread.
Helps you farm as well, I suppose, but... I feel like against a Death Prophet and an Ursa, that 50 move speed is really, really good. Crystallize going to show face bottom. And Blizzy now looking for a kill top. He just find it. Ice Path beautifully connects here, but there is a BKB. Oh, he got muted by the Nullifier. General gets the time lapse off, barely. And And almost an ice path into nullifier kill. Could you imagine? Just one maim. Probably would have done the deed. Not sure if he got one or not, but...
Go for my master.
AC going to be built into by Palantimos after the Manta style. But I just don't know that they really have enough firepower in this squad. Even Lil has himself a BKB at this point. 10 seconds more than likely it is. General probably down to 7 at this point. Or 6 even, so... It's getting more and more difficult for this Weaver. But he does have buyback and MKB in 300 gold.
Flesh sustains, gold remains.
You may need to farm a bit of a dangerous area to get that 300 gold, though. Oh, Blizzy. They got him under ward vision. Can they get the nullifier off, though? And they do. Silence is there with the nullifier. Ice path as well. This time, they've brought the lifestealer along. And they will get the kill on General right before he's able to pick up buyback and MKB. Oh, he does buy out the MKB, but that means... Okay, so he barely has buyback. Good math, MRP. Good math. Again, looking for more here. Mid lane. Lil gonna show himself. Radiance, will it cancel? No, he gets the blink off. Well, Nightmare onto the siege creep. Roche not up for 57 seconds. Palantimos trying to chase down Lil, who will blink up and TP away. Alright, nice last hits. These are the creeps I felt like he should have gotten the first couple minutes of the game, but Arcane Rune is nearby the pit.
Now they will suffer.
Wages of fear.
Lizzie gonna pop the darkness with it. Why not? Crystallized top gonna force back the recall from the champ. Back to farming we go. AC is completed on Palantimos. Dendi, though, he's almost looking at an Octarine core at this point. Scan from the Radiant is going to find NaVi. Mud Golem is there. But they will take it over. And with the Solar Crest and the Fury Swipes, this is an insanely fast Roche, and it's Refresher Shard too. So Dendi has another Exorcism if he needs to fight. Was he gonna assume the high ground? But he's near a shrine. I'm not sure he wants to stick around too long. Dendi up to the high ground has Cheese and Aeon Disc. So extremely difficult to kill. BKB as well. Shrine being worked on. Radiant do have decent vision in the area, so feeling pretty safe to do this. Not that important of a building at this juncture in the game, honestly. The Northern Shrine a lot more important as far as Roche control goes. Again, a Yule's up onto the Chen Creep. And NaVi feeling pretty comfortable in this one overall, but playing it quite safe. Lizzie in trouble, and he will be brought down.
I'll take that.
Well, gets the darkness off, and the halberd is there as well. Hand of God and the urn, and he'll actually make it off to the north side, where General, or to the south side on the north, General being aggressed on, and Blizzy going to join up with his team now. Has one more urn charge, but is just going to make his way back to base. Working on a BKB, so no Night Stalker Aghanims in this one. Exorcism pop mid lane. Dendi does still have Refresher Shard and Octarine Core for that matter. Glyph going to be deployed by the Radiant side. Shiro will at least gonna get the denial off. Lil over in the top lane going to try and deal with the siege creeps that they do a little bit of damage to this tier 3. Arcane Rune, Octarine Core, and Refresher Shard on Dendi. Again, mid lane has been down since 25 minutes and really hasn't seemed like any sort of issue at all for NaVi. 120 GPM talent picked up by the Witch Doctor at this point for Slayer, so perhaps he could get an Ags at some point and turn this game. They definitely do lack damage on the Vega side. Valentimo's going for the Radiance build, having a Night Stalker and Jakiro core.
Sustains good.
There is a Hex though, Blink Hex that is, on Undershock, so this could be a bit of a game changer. Both teams playing on opposite sides of the map. Ancient Black Drake going to work on the creep wave top, and it is pretty close to the Navi base. They may even be able to get a tier 3 out of this. Knight is popped, so Navi have to be afraid of this top lane right now. They will TP in Dendi, as he's probably the most survivable. Yule's Octarine, BKB, Refresher. Slayer right over top of a ward.
Here, catch.
Is going to get the Maledict off. General in trouble. It forced the BKB TP out. And Night Stalker pressing for more. Looking for Lil here. Will he make the move though? It is nighttime. Blink away from Lil. Roche not up for at least 2.5 minutes. Gem is up on Blizzy, so playing rather careful there around the attempt on Tiny, knowing that he could lose the gem.
Invisibility.
Dendi showed just a minute ago top lane, but he will make his way back to his base. And during this nighttime phase, Navi still, it seems, have to play a little bit scared. There is a Blink Hex on the Jakiro, and now a Hex on the Chen as well. So, you know, on paper, absolute theoretically, probably not in practice, but, you know, 3 BKBs can be disabled with Nullifier and 2 Hexes kind of thing. But that is a very kind of edge case. Smoke going to be popped. Lil going to be a little bit afraid to walk up the staircase. LeBron going to have his smoke popped as well. And does have a sentry, but Slayer just gonna play it safe and back out. Dendi, creep shenanigans.
All are healed.
Hand of God used for that. That's 2 2-minute cooldown for an Ancient Black Drake. Okay. Darkness going to be popped. Cast flies out mid, looking to push this in. Top lane pushing in as well. MKB completed up by Crystallize. He's looking at an Abyssal Blade as well. And
I'll take that.
you know, it really begs the question, and what happens if NaVi gets the jump? I mean, if they jump a Lifestealer, this game is just over, I feel. And that's why we see Vega being so proactive, the Lifestealer being hidden inside the Night Stalker. Crystallize going to show top, and NS going to make it out bottom, try and find some stragglers here. But he was spotted TPing onto the Shrine. And so Palantimos will get back to hitting creeps. Double damage rune, bottom side of the map. Undershot picks it up instead of giving it to his Lifestealer. But anyways, Dendi going in on mid on Undershock and actually misses the silence. Hex is available for Undershock as well. Aeon Disc is going to be there for now. Meanwhile, to the north side, Blizzy in the pit. Oh, the grip is there, and it's going to be canceled by the Ice Path. Palantimos going to be sent back, and everyone looking to get out from Vega. Conveniently, though, Roche spawns right after Dendi uses the Exorcism. And he is standing in the Macro Pyre. It is going to force out his Aeon Disc. Back to the fight is the Lifestealer. And it seems for once that NaVi cannot just press this Roshan. Smoked around the side, gem in hand, BKB available as well. Night Stalker thinking about entering the fray. Lil jumping forward for Undershock. Cask will be there and bounces nicely with the Maledict. Dendi forced to BKB out. And Aeon Disc is there once again. Dendi going to refresh, has another BKB and another Exorcism. And the Roshan dance begins. Darkness pop, NaVi will think twice here. Again, gem up on Blizzy. He does have the Hunter in the Night active available.
Oh, look at it go.
Cass gonna fly out, thinking about it as Blizzy. Ice Path is gonna catch on the Ursa. Macropyre is there, and it's a long one. It is an Ags Macropyre at this stage. Now flying over the top, looking for the Weaver in the backline to get the Nullifier off. The mute is there. Palantimos is there. They take him down. And the assassination from the backlines is successful. Hand of God is there. Crystallize is in trouble as well. He's going to be forced to pop the cheese. Blizzy under the cover of BKB. Ice Path from range going to connect on the Ursa. Can they bring him down? He's forced to in range. Palantimos in trouble. Silenced up. Force stuffed away. Toss is there from Lil. And the Yule's up into the air from Dendi. Rage is there though. With the open wound, still not enough to bring down Dendi. Zayat's in trouble. Lil and Dendi doing work here together. And it'll end up being a 1-for-2. They'll only get the Weaver out of all of that. But TP's out. No one gets Roche. And, you know, that is as ideal an initiation as you can get for Vega. But, you know, keep in mind, I suppose, there was a cheese on the Ursa. There was a refresher on Dendi. And it won't be so easy for NaVi to take the Roche this time. Or will it? It's 45 seconds with no Lifestealer and Ursa making his way towards the pit. It should be just as easy. Lizzie flying over. Nullify going to be used. Macropyre is there onto Crystallize. Ice Path as well. Cass going to bounce through. They really need the Death Ward though at this moment, and Slayer can't get it off. Eul Scepter is going to be there. Crystallize getting pretty low, but looking to go onto the Night Stalker. Maledict is there, and Crystallize forced out. Macropyre killing Roshan off. pissing him off anyways. Making his way out of the pit. And that actually delays out enough for Palantimos to respawn. Ag's Macropire pretty good around this area in the pit.
Thrice blessed.
$225 DPS, 30-second duration on this Macropire. Slayer in trouble. Ghost Scepter will be there, and Lil is fairly scared. Darkness is going to be popped. Take a look at the vision of NaVi, and the only person they see right now is Undershock. The Radiant Vision, they have a vision of a couple of heroes here. Ice Path is going to fly, barely whiffs on connecting on Dendi. Exorcism going to be popped. Can they just sneak this Roche away? Macropire will be there. And it's actually going to kind of help in this endeavor. Aeon this pop by Dendi. Blizzy needs to think about going in here. And will pop the BKB. Nullifier, he gets it off onto the Ursa. But not much else helps as the grip is there. Palantimos looking for the Roche. Gets it down. Blizzy the one to pick up the Aegis. And Palantimos looking to fight. Time-lapse forced out onto the Hex Weaver. Ice Path will connect onto Dendi. And fight getting a little bit chaotic. Blizzy in trouble. Does have the Aegis. Lifesteal inside him. Looking to go onto General. Ice Path catches one. That's going to be the Bane. General going to make it away. Does finish off the Night Stalker, but it's just the Aegis. Undershock looking to Hex. Has a Hex in 2 seconds. But will he go down beforehand? Lil blinks away. Ice Path is there. And the send back from the Chen keeps the Jakiro safe. They'll get the Weaver for General as well. And now Undershock back into the fray. Blinking forward. Looking for a Hex target. Can't find it. But it's 30 seconds on the sidelines. No Bane. More importantly, no Weaver for General for 70 seconds. And now with the Liquid Fire, they should make pretty quick work of this top lane of Rax as well. Silence onto 2. Manta out from Palantimos. Dendi going to pop BKB. Refreshes. Looking to go for the Exorcism. Will get it. Avalanche is going to be there, but Blizzy gets his BKB off. Trying to make it away. His own Chen creep is blocking him. And Dendi's Exorcism has pretty effectively been kited here. He does still have a BKB, but with no Exorcism, look for Vega to just hang around and go back into this fight. They'll have about a 30-second window with no Exorcism and no Weaver. They do need creeps to get into this base quickly. Okay, backdoor protection still inactive. They get the Hex off. Glimmer Cape is going to be there. Ice Path connects though. Palantimos getting to work. Defensive Nightmare is going to be there. Then another Hex coming through from the Chen. And that is going to be the Ursa down. Crystallize going to buy back. Grip is going to be canceled by the Yule's Scepter. Dendi still does not have an Exorcism here. Vega looking to reset. Crystallize thinking about going in on the north side. And Palantimos beating away at the melee racks. Macropire canceling the blink of Crystallize. And a clean Raxing here as the Weaver respawns for Vega. And Vega still hanging around mid. Need to be careful here. Palantimos pretty low. And they will extract themselves from the enemy base cleanly. 10k lead, 30-25. Darkness going to be popped to deter or dissuade NaVi from any sort of aggression out of the base. And that's 2 lanes of Rax for Vega. At 54 minutes in, 1 game and 2 lanes of Rax in their favor. And NaVi heavily on the back foot here. To this Jakiro strat once again for Undershock from Slayer.
Now they will suffer.
And nearing the level 25 mark is Blizzy. As well, the Jakiro nearing the level 25 mark. Has the Ag's Macropire, so look for that talent to come out. Lifestealer does have the level 25, 2 seconds on Rage. Lil could be in trouble here. Pings were there, but they're looking for General, and they'll find him. They don't get the Nullifier off, though. He will be able to BKB away. Maledict is there, but nothing like a glimpse or anything to bring him back into danger. And General does make it away. Nullifier off cooldown, I should say. So Blizzy, unfortunately, Just didn't expect the Weaver to pop out there. Did have a gem, however, so feels like he could have got that off, but in any case. That could have been a game-ending kill. No buyback available for General. He does have the Ags, however, so they should at least be aware of this.
Haste.
Still, though, the NaVi lineup doesn't feel nearly as strong without Aegis and Cheese and Refresher Shard, which they have had for the last few engagements. Lil really starting to transition as far as being a core. Full Mjolnir, Echo Saber, Crystallis, BKB up for him. BKB probably around 6 or 7 seconds. It's at 6 at this point. Lil pushing in top, and TP's inbound from Slayer. Not an easy kill by any means. Darkness gonna be popped, but it'll be a little bit too late to go catch Lil here. Refresher onto Zayat, so we'll have the double hand of God heal, and it'll be extra soon. So you're looking at 1800 health worth of heal if he grabs that talent on top of the refresher. Crystallized does have that blink abyssal. Scan is gonna find NaVi, and Zayat's perhaps gonna look to TP to the top shrine
A
here.
golden thread.
It's hanging around though. Slayer up on the high ground could be a bit vulnerable here. Dendi under the cover of invisibility. And yeah, Slayer, he's out in no man's land. Gonna force himself up onto the cliff, get a ward up. Oh, the swarm doesn't scout him just yet, but now, yeah, the vision is there. He will actually end up using the cheese. Not sure why. The grip is there, and he buys back instantly. Huh. So really scared about perhaps them taking Roche. I don't know what this buyback is about or what the cheese usage was, if he intended on buying back so quickly. That was just all peculiar to me. Lil bottom lane. Oh, gets the Hex off, does Undershock. Ice Path is going to be there as well. They have a time lapse and they'll get it off. Lil's going to be able to BKB, and so does Blizzy. Dendi chasing forward for this. Palantimos, well, they're going to just send him back. Palantimos in trouble now, should have the rage in a second. Manta's up, gets the Aeon Disc off onto Dendi. The Ice Path will be there for now. The Abyssal, though, is there. Now Palantimos, he's raged up, but going to be sent back by the Chen. Zayat's going to try and get the hell out of dodge. And they do lose the Witch Doctor. That's a dieback for the Witch Doctor. Jakiro in trouble as well. And I'm still hard-pressed to decipher this Witch Doctor buyback here. But Blizzy looking to go in onto the... Oh, wow. That is that 140 level 25 talent. Bloodthorn and Nullifier on the Weaver. There is a buyback on General, but a big kill that essentially ensures no objective will be taken by NaVi off of that fight. And Blizzy doing well to survive there. Zayat's again being very clutch with these saves. Now Crystallize in trouble. He's going to get silenced up. Nullified in the mid lane. Bloodthorn is there and he's dead. No buyback. Let's look at the buyback scenario overall. And it is a grim one for Navi's side. At the moment, they do have the buybacks on Weaver, Bane, and Death Prophet, and Lil should have his soon. But there is no buyback for Crystallize.
My thrift rewarded.
Dendi gonna show himself, and over to the north, the Night Stalker. Not willing to enter the enemy base, however. Slayer back out of the grave, and Undershock will join soon with his boots of travel. Into the pit, Vega will go, and a very important Roche here to deny the refresher shard from Dendi. It's, you know, I feel like more important than anything else is that refresher shard at this point.
Immortality.
So double rage available, at least in theory, for Palantimos. Feel like they might give this over to Undershock when they see him, and he's already backpacked the blink. He has a refresher of his own, in fact. Indeed, they will. Now Blizzy, it's nighttime. Up to the high ground, jump forward. Lil is going to find him, but it doesn't do all that much. Manta is going to be there from Palantimos. He'll beat into the tier 3. Glyph is going to be popped out. And they should just allow the creeps to take this out. Grip is going to be there. Can they cancel it? Hand of God 1 is there. Silence comes out. LeBron is just going to die, though. And now over to the west. Hexed up is Dendi, but he takes a lot of damage. Hand of God is there for the second time. Blizzy able to get his BKB off. Dendi doing a lot of damage to Palantimos. Gets the Hex off, or gets the Silence off as well, but they'll beat down Dendi with the Bloodthorn. Palantimos in trouble. Does have the Aegis, however. Is going to be able to dodge away the spells of the enemies. Dendi forced to buy back. And Palantimos going to be sent to base. Does have 5,000 gold, so can pick up a set of travels if he so pleases. Will do so. Has the treads. Has Daedalus as well. So no boots. Going to rely on his Night Stalker to get him into the battle. Is Palantimos smoked up here. Undershock has a Hex ready. Macropyre will be there. Jump forward from Palantimos going in onto Lil. Ice Path is going to be there. BKB's there for Lil, though, and he'll get under the cover of Shadowblade. Dendi going to have his Aeon Disc be popped. Palantimos, in the meantime, has taken out the melee racks. Over on the west side, Night Stalker does go down to the Weaver and the Ursa. Palantimos going to be abyssaled up. Lil in trouble. Aegis is going to be down. Lil does drop as well, but the buybacks come out aplenty. Hex is going to be there, however, onto the Ursa. Crystallize in trouble, but he gets time-lapse in time. Palantimos will secure the Mega Creeps for Vega Squadron, and will be sent back by the Chen. 2 gems on the deck. Both of those are going to be for the dire side. The Death Ward going to take out the Bane. He's down for 90 seconds. Witch Doctor down for 80. It's about equal if you consider those two. But Mega Creep secured by Vega, and they only lose the Witch Doctor here. Man, there was like 3 fights going on in that one. One to the south, one to the west, and one by the Raxes. I wanted to keep the focus on the building, so I hope I didn't trigger anyone there. But in any case, Lil could be in a bit of trouble here top lane. Makes it back out to safety. Radiant side didn't have any vision in the area, so it was a risky initiation regardless, just by the solo Night Stalker. Just looking at the level 25 talents overall.
Double darkness.
Thank you, my beauties.
Saw the heal come into effect that fight. Didn't really notice the Macropyre all that much, but in any case. The one level 25 still yet to attain in the game. Actually, the Bane probably very far away as well. He doesn't even have his level 20. So despite having a quad core on Navi's side, 3 buybacks available for the Radiant. And that's the case for the next 4+ minutes. So Vega going to look to make good of this window. Undershock with a Blink Hex available. Haste on the Blizzy Night Stalker. And it looks like Vega want to push in all the lanes here simultaneously. And they'll wait top up on the high ground. Lil could be in a little bit of trouble here. And the Ice Path will catch him. Hex is going to be there. Dagon as well. Nullified and silenced up. He's dead. 125 seconds. No buyback. And after tweeting that Vega had no chance of revenge against NaVi today. He's down 25k and sitting in the grave watching his team with their last-ditch effort. Nullifier gets off onto Dendi. He's going to be glimmered up, but the Hex comes out on the south side, and they are going to be able to bring down Crystallize. He's dead, no buyback. Deathward channeling on the east side. Going to force General back into base, and the Ancient being worked on here. Why not? They're going to try and kill off Dendi as well. Macropyre is going to be there, but the game and the series secured by Vega. 66 minutes in, they will eliminate NaVi from these qualifiers and go into the grand finals with a boatload of momentum. Excellent play, itemization, draft from Vega all around. And despite not having a late game oriented tricore with Jakiro, Lifestealer, and Blizzy, Blizzy's item progression specifically really made this work. And having the vision advantage was a major factor into the late game. Crystallize really probably had one of the worst games I've seen of his in a while. And that 5th pick Ursa for Dendi just really didn't work out, whereas the 5th pick Chen was an interesting curveball by Vega. And they will be able to take this game and the series 2-0 and move on to face Spirit, guys. So let the NaVi memes flow. Ancient is only a building. NaVi at risk of dropping out of the top 8 of the DPC points here, as they will fail to qualify for the GEC Thailand minor. And Vega going to move on in 25 minutes, guys, scheduled time, to face Spirit in the finals. We'll see if they can continue to carry the momentum. Thank you guys for joining me. MRP here on twitch.tv/Beyond the Summit. You can follow me over on Twitter at MRPDota if you enjoyed the cast. Until then, little break, guys. Hop in the waiting screen, and the next series should start in about 25 minutes.